Right. So I'm here with my past client, Lauren, and I'm so excited actually because, when I was preparing for this, Lauren, I was thinking not only did, you and I work together in the coaching environment, but you also, long before I started my coaching practice, attended one of my yoga workshops when I was doing yoga for teens. So we go way back, because that yoga class was like, you were in middle school, right? I think it was,
Sixth grade.
oh, not even in middle school yet.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that's so, and then we started working together at the end of your sophomore year of high school.
Yeah.
So that was June 2017, right on the tail, right before summer. And at that time, your goals were to feel better about yourself, and you really wanted to learn how to appreciate yourself more, which I just think that's so wise. And as I was looking back on my notes, and I came across that goal that you shared on our first meeting, I was like, wow, that's really just wisdom beyond your years to recognize the value in self-appreciation. So those were two areas of focus kind of related to personal development. And then you also wanted to work on procrastination because, like many high school students, like many people, that was starting to kind of get in the way of your academics, and you wanted to learn some strategies to minimize that. So would you be willing to share a little bit about like what was going on for you when we reconnected in the coaching environment, and just what you sort of remember about those first meetings and the challenges that were going on personally for you and what kind of brought you to me?
Yeah. So at the end of my sophomore year, I was kind of looking back at my year, and I saw my grades weren't exactly where I wanted them to be. And I saw a lot of that from like procrastination that I had just done on different assignments, or like readings and English classes that I just never bothered to do, and just little things like that. I was also, I don't know, going into the dreaded junior year, it was a lot of pressure on me to do better academically. And so I could get into college and just do all those things. I wasn't taking as many AP courses as a lot of my friends were. And I think that was kind of hurting my self-esteem a little bit, just because I was comparing myself to these people taking all these AP classes. And I think I left high school completing one AP course total. I also had just a bunch of friend drama going on. I had friends at two different high schools, and they were kind of meeting each other and things weren't going great, or there were just problems with those different friends, people who I had known for a much longer period of time, and newer friends that I had met more recently. And I think all of that coming together, I just wasn't happy, and I was feeling so bad about myself, and I didn't want to talk to my friends about any of it because they were just kind of turning on each other, and there was no one that I felt like I could really, really talk to.
That's so common. I appreciate you sharing that, because I think a lot of times, parents kind of recognize like, okay, my teen doesn't really want to talk to me because they're a teenager and they just don't want to talk to their parents, but they have a lot of good friends and they're going to talk to their friends. But you raise, I think, such an important part and kind of obstacle that so many teen girls face, which is sometimes it's not comfortable or safe to open up to your friends about some of the stuff that you're struggling with, because they have their own stuff going on, or sometimes it's like fear that they're not going to keep your secrets and confidence. So, I think there's so much awareness in, that aspect of just recognizing, okay, I do need to talk to somebody, but my friends aren't going to necessarily be the best support. It doesn't mean they're not a support, but it just means, they aren't providing you what you need.
Yeah. One of my closest friends at that time, she was also struggling a bit with her own kind of just self problems. And it was the first time in my friendship with her after like 5 or 6 years that she was having problems with some of my other friends. And so the one person that I knew I could always talk to was suddenly someone who I I didn't want to, just because I didn't want to burden her more with my problems, and I didn't want to talk to her about the friend drama because she was getting so involved in it all of a sudden. So it was nice to kind of take a step back and look at that and reflect with it. And I felt like, I don't know, talking to you through that whole process made my friendship with her so much stronger.
Oh, wow. Wow. You're a really good friend for recognizing that too, that you would kind of have this sense of almost adding to her stress if you shared some of your own situations and challenges. Do you remember in the beginning that, like, it sounds like, what you recall is that you were pretty open and like ready to start with a coach. Do you remember when your mom told you, or did you ask her? How did that all kind of unfold for you?
Well, I kind of started, I guess, trying to help myself almost in the beginning. I was writing letters to my best friend that I didn't send, but just like things that were on my mind. And then, I don't know, I had like a breakdown with my mom one evening, and I was just like, I need to talk to someone. Like, this isn't enough. This isn't helping. Um, and from there, she really helped me a lot. And she started looking into different things. And that's when I think she came across like your Facebook or something like that. And she was like, do you remember Erica? You did like yoga with her. And she did like Girl Scout yoga with you. And I was like, yeah. And she's like, she's a life coach. I'm like, a life coach? And I was a little hesitant going into it. But after talking with you, I knew you were just someone that I could be so comfortable with, and I would be able to talk to. And I don't know, I was worried that there wouldn't be anyone else who I had that kind of connection with, who I could talk to.
Oh, wow. Thank you, Lauren. I felt the same. I mean, I felt like as soon as you stepped in the office, I actually remember our first session so well. I had my office in Solana Beach, and I remember exactly how it was set up, and you came in and we sort of like, we just connected and dove right in pretty much like within the first 15 minutes. There was just so much ease already there. So, I'm sure a testament to just your willingness and your readiness to be in that process, but we had kind of a synchronicity, I think.
Yeah. Also, your office had chocolates, so how could I?
That's right. Yes, snacks.
Yeah.
So true. Still does. So as we progress, we met pretty regularly. We worked together for about 2 years, as you remember. And the first, I think 6-9 months, we were meeting pretty much every week, some months every other week. And then we started working together like once a month. And so, the things that we focused on sort of evolved. And I do remember shifting from like personal development and academics to a lot of like the friend stuff. And also, the stress with just what junior year puts on your plate with testing and college preparation. So can you just share a little bit about like what your evolution was with coaching and how things kind of changed or impacted you as we, kind of continued through junior and senior year?
Mm-hmm. Well, I noticed a lot of people around me taking the stress of junior year pretty differently. And I don't know, I think a lot of people feel this way, where they're just kind of isolated, and I don't know, maybe everyone's doing other things to cope with their stress or their way. And lucky for me, I started talking with you before junior year. But during that time, I started to see a lot of my friends fall into some pretty unfortunate habits with like drug use and kind of relationships too. And that was something that I was not doing, but being able to talk to someone through all that and to kind of, I don't know, figure out where I stand and all that, how I wanted to handle those things in my life and how I wanted to handle those things with my friends and who I wanted to be friends with after that, just the kind of people I wanted to surround myself with. I felt once I figured that out and who I wanted in my life, I had a better sense of who I was. I don't know. I guess something like that.
Oh, I hear what you're saying. And what I kind of recall recognizing in you, you always had this really strong sense of self. And, we did some self-awareness building, but it was almost like, it was like kind of peeling the saran wrap off. Like it was so present for you already that you didn't really need a whole lot of coaching in that self-discovery piece. It was pretty easy, and then once you found that, you also had such a strong sense of determination and, strength to make the choices that really aligned with your values and your interests and with the goals that you had for yourself. And I still, to this day, just have so much admiration for you because of those things. That determination has lasted to now.
Yeah.
Right. So I remember once you were kind of through the test scores and you were in the college decision-making process, we started to do a lot more kind of practical stuff in your sessions. Like I remember some, again, we circled back to like self-awareness because you were writing your college essays. So we were doing a little bit of reflection on the growth that you had. I know, I want you to share a little bit about that too. And then you were also interested in getting a job that was aligned with your interest of working with children. So I'd love for you to share a little bit about how coaching kind of supported you through the college process and your job search.
Well, I think within some of the first few sessions I had with you, I was like, I think I might want to work with children. And that was something that I had never really considered because, I don't know, I was just surrounded by teachers my whole life. And I guess I just kind of like was blind to that being something I could ever really do. And one of the first things you said to me was like, oh, I know like just how to help you with that. I have connections and I'm going to send an email right now. And I think you like wrote down right then that you were going to send an email to the owner of the preschool that I'm working at now. And this is my third summer there. And now that I'm 19 and I have a few college credits under my sleeve, I can work with the kids in the rooms and have up to 12 kids on my own. So that's great. And it was such a great, like, just working there and being able to experience that setting because early childhood isn't necessarily what I'm going to do in the future, but being able to start somewhere and really see that maybe I do want to work with older kids, but I still love getting this experience now and talking to my coworkers about their experiences and meeting so many different people in the field was just a great experience. And it's a great place. I love it so much.
Oh, I'm so glad. It was such an honor. It still is an honor to hear you talk with such enthusiasm about the same place where I started my teaching career at Del Mar Hills Nursery School. And, I'm just so pleased that I was able to support you in that. And you've been such an asset to that school. I know because Polly has shared that with me, how much she appreciates you. And, again, like you were determined to get this experience working with kids and you gave it 100%. And, you continue to be employed there and you're just kind of working your way up. So that's
I just got a raise.
Oh, cool. Congratulations. And so, and you're an official teacher, right? Because you've got the 12 units.
I don't know if my title has been changed, but I consider myself, so it's fine.
Well, I mean, if you've got the 12 kids on your own, then I think that can.
I'll take it.
Yeah, for sure. So now you're starting your second year at Purdue and studying education, following your dream and your passion. Can you share a little about what you're up to and just what life is like right now?
Well, I went to school. I tried to get involved with a lot of different things, just threw a bunch of things at the wall, saw what could stick. Right now, I'm, funny enough, raising money for children at a children's hospital in Indiana. And that kind of goes back to, I don't know, I had some problems. I was at a children's hospital in California for a while, so it's something I'm really passionate about doing there. I love my school so much. There are just so many different things I have gotten involved in, and I honestly believe like all that college essay prep that we did together and my experience at Del Mar Hills Nursery School that I wrote about has all got me to the place where I am. And I was so just thankful to have all that help, because Purdue is definitely my dream school, and I know I wouldn't be there without you.
Oh, wow. Well, no, you put a lot of effort into it for sure. So, but thank you. I do appreciate that. And it was just such an honor to, guide you through that and be part of the journey with you. And I'm also so happy that we've stayed in touch, and I remember, again, like, we had one session, like I said earlier, I think it was like your second month at Purdue, and you told me that you were thriving, and that just made me so happy, because obviously that's really the intent of of coaching, and certainly of life, is just to find where we fit and to do what does help us feel alive. So it's just such a joy, to see your journey and see where you are now in this place of thriving at a school where you are so happy and you fit.
Yeah. Well, with all the work that we did together with like going over friendships and that kind of thing, and just kind of realizing what people I wanted to surround myself with when I went to school, I kind of had that like one track mind. I wanted, of what I wanted in a friend, and things I didn't want to be involved in, or things I didn't want to like associate myself with. And kind of with that thought in mind, I was able to just find an amazing group of people.
Wow, that clarity.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so cool. So, I mean, you've shared already so many ways that coaching has impacted your life. Is there any, I don't know, like, kind of stand out for you?
Um, Again, I think it was just really having someone to talk to when things went wrong with the people in your life who you always thought you could turn to. Because it's bound to happen, I guess. People make mistakes, or just things happen. There's always drama. You can't go through life without it, I think. But knowing that there was always like a mutual place, or I guess like what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know.
Place.
Yeah, just a good place to go and have someone to talk to and not feel judged, and just feel like I could say what's ever on my mind and just not have to worry about it. Just someone to talk to.
Yeah, it is such a gift. And I think sometimes people can underestimate how valuable it is to have someone who's like outside of it all, who can listen and, offer some practices that help you gain the clarity or the sense of direction. And what I appreciate so much about you, Lauren, I've said already, you just came in with already so much self-awareness and determination, but you were also always so open to the different tools that I would share, some of the different perspectives I would share. And so you just, you really made the most of the process. And I so appreciate that about you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yes. Well, is there anything else you would like to say? I am curious, like, if somebody, maybe let's say like a sophomore in high school, was talking to you and was like, I don't know, my mom told me that I should go see a life coach, what advice would you give a younger high school student?
I would just say to give it a try.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I had an idea of how much I would be sharing with you, or just what kind of things I would need to be talking about, but knowing that the support was there. And I think it was almost, I came to you maybe a little late, but also a little early, because just in time for a lot of a lot of things that went on. And so just having that base, or like something happens, I'm like, I know I can go and talk to Erica about this. Like, I don't need to work this out on my own. I have someone to support me, and I can just go and talk to Erica about this.
Oh, that's awesome. And you can always do that, even as you're moving into your second year at Purdue.
Yeah.
Yes. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for sharing with me and with those that will watch this. I appreciate you doing that. And I'm so glad that we still are connected.
Yeah, me too.
So cool to, just catch up every once in a while.
All right.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to stop the recording.